Hey guys, TheGamingGeek here, and welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk Gaming. This week we have the awesome TheRoflRaptor. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for bringing me on.
No problem at all. Do you want to briefly, actually, as I've never had you on my channel before or sort of done any videos with you, do you want to briefly just explain to people listening what you do on your channel and what it's all about?
Yeah, well, as you guys can probably tell, I'm another British YouTuber, and recently been covering a lot of Titanfall. That's my main thing right now, doing sort of the campaign and tips and tricks and covering all the news and that kind of thing. Done a lot of COD on my channel as well in the past, but the focus is all on the new Titanfall game at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. If you want lots of content to do with Titanfall, if you want hints, tips, news, anything like that, then definitely go and subscribe to him because he is the place to be right now for that sort of content. So, link in the description, go and check out his channel. But let's dive straight in with the questions. So, very, very similar to what I've asked other people, but I feel they get completely different responses sometimes, so it's always interesting to see. So, let's start off right at the beginning. What was your first gaming moment / first console?
Well, I actually got into gaming pretty late compared to other people, I think.
Okay.
My first sort of gaming memories were playing sort of Halo 1 and Halo 2 around friends' houses. My parents were pretty strict. I wasn't able to play a lot of games at home, and so it was kind of through friends that I got introduced into the whole gaming scene. I'm pretty sure I was terrible when I started off, absolutely awful at the game.
So is everyone.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But and then I sort of kept on nagging at my parents and pleading, and eventually I was allowed to get a Game Boy Advance when I was about 10 or 11. Played the classics on that, sort of Metroid, Mario, and all those kind of games, and then moved through to the Nintendo Wii. I think was my first proper gaming console.
Yep.
Also had a Nintendo DS, which was just the best thing ever. I think I had so much fun playing.
I played a lot of
playing
DS.
some of the games on that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think of some of the best ones. Like again, Metroid Prime Hunters was a great game on the DS, and then all the Mario ones.
Yeah.
There's so many good titles for it.
Yeah. I just enjoy things like New Super Mario Brothers and.
Yeah. And then I think I got my Xbox 360 when I was about 15.
Okay.
And then now I'm into PC gaming. I don't even have a console with me at university, so kind of gone through in not that long. I feel like I've graduated through handhelds into consoles into PC now, and I've sort of had a pretty crazy journey with gaming. But yeah.
Oh, there you are. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, PC's definitely a strong platform at the minute. It's getting even stronger. And, when you're at uni, it's sometimes the best thing to go for. So there we are. Right, next question. So that's what got you into gaming, but what got you into creating gaming content? What inspired you?
Well, like a lot of other people, I think the reason I sort of discovered the whole gaming scene on YouTube was trying to get better at Call of Duty.
It's a classic way.
Yeah, it is a classic way. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. Like I said, I got my Xbox when I was about 15. I think I got it just before Modern Warfare 2 came out.
Yep.
So that was really the first COD, the first shooter that I got properly addicted to. I loved the fast-paced gameplay and all of that kind of thing. All my friends played it. That was back in Call of Duty's golden age.
Yes,
when everyone on your friends list was playing it, and just had so much fun. But again, I was pretty bad to start off with, so I guess I sort of stumbled across Hutch's videos, Cnana's videos, all the classic Machinima crew, X-Jaws, all those guys. The golden age of YouTube as well, some would say. And definitely. It then took maybe a year or so later, I started my channel during Black Ops 1. Just because I saw other people doing it, and I thought, this looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just basically the same as most people, I think, and yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy journey since then. Just going through doing a lot of different kind of content, moving through COD, now into Titanfall and that kind of thing, and yeah, I guess that's it really.
So we are, yeah. Well, I mean, Black Ops 1 was pretty much where I properly started getting into the gaming YouTube side of things. So yeah, so I think fairly similar to me in a lot of ways. So yeah. Let's move on. So it's been, from what you've explained to us, quite a few years that you've been around in sort of the gaming YouTube scene and gaming in general, obviously. But so, what's been your favourite gaming moment? It could be obviously a YouTube moment as well, and you could have a separate YouTube moment, a separate gaming moment. But what's been your sort of favourite?
Well, I find myself getting pretty nostalgic these days about some of those early Xbox memories back when Halo 3 custom games were the pinnacle of fun, pretty much, in gaming, I think, for me.
Okay.
The days when you could just play for hours and hours, you could stay up all night just playing crazy maps on Halo, or on COD as well.
Yeah.
But I think that was the pinnacle for me. In terms of YouTube, I don't know. Like, we've had a lot of mental stuff that's happened in the gaming community on YouTube.
Yeah,
There's been
definitely.
some pretty crazy drama. I think when I started seeing people who were my age, like XJaws, hit like 1 million subscribers, or when I started seeing them getting flown out to events, and people like Syndicate,
Yeah.
I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not really a personal moment for me on YouTube, but the idea of people our age getting paid,
I know.
and getting all this free stuff, getting all this attention, was just the coolest thing ever to me. So
It still is to me today. Like,
it is,
you
yeah.
see
It's
like
mental.
that can get you there, and it's just awesome. Yeah, it's an inspiration. So, you sort of maybe hinted it a little bit. Is there anyone you particularly look up to on YouTube? Your idol? Anyone you maybe watch an awful lot of content of, or anyone that inspired you in particular?
Well, like I said, the original Machinima crew that I started watching back in the day, some of them aren't still around.
No, sadly.
But those of them who are, like Cnanas and Hutch, I have a lot of respect for. Cnanas is just so consistently funny and crazy, and Hutch has always been a sort of a voice of reason and that kind of thing in the community, I think.
True.
He's been pretty absent recently, but he seems to be coming back a little bit with Titanfall, so hopefully we're going to see some more videos from him soon.
Yeah, it's a bit with him, it's sort of been a bit up and down. It's like sometimes, like, it was a little while back he said he was coming back, he was getting back into making videos and things like that, and then it sort of went quiet after a little while, and now it's picking up a bit, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I would like to see him come back.
Same.
Syndicate, like I said, I find Syndicate is just so... he's so easily relatable too.
True.
I think
that's why he has been
he's
so
just
successful.
He's so sort of, he's like a little excited kid all the time.
Yeah.
And so I do like Syndicate a lot, but there's not really one particular person I would say that I can point to and say that person is the one person that inspires me or that inspired me to start my channel. It was sort of a combination of a lot of different people. Just the mix that is the internet, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it is hard just to single one person out. It's because there are a lot of inspirational people out there and people doing good jobs. So, okay. What about your most anticipated game? There are lots coming out at the moment. We can check Titanfall off the list now it's such officially released. But what is your most anticipated game now for the future?
Well, I feel like 2013 and 2012 were amazing years for games.
Okay. Yeah.
And 2014, for the next few months, there's not really a lot happening. Watch Dogs, I was very interested by, and I pre-ordered it ages ago, and it's just been delayed and delayed and delayed. Looks like it's going to be coming out in May, I think.
May 27th, I think. Yeah.
So I'm still pretty excited for that.
I am. I think the hype has gone down a little bit, unfortunately, because it's been delayed so much that people are like, oh yeah, can you just please bring it out now, sort of thing. I think it's sort of unfortunately suffered from a bit of loss in hype.
It'll be worth it for the people like me and you that still get the game.
Yeah, I think it will be a good game.
That sort of longer development time will have been worth it, but I think it will impact on their sales a little bit.
I think it will.
But then I think...
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, looking later on in the year, we've got Destiny coming out, which is a pretty interesting concept. I don't know a lot about it, and I don't currently own a next-gen console, so I'd need to get one, I think, to fully enjoy that game. And then, Battlefront. I've got Star Wars Battlefront at some point coming out, which I'm insanely excited for.
One of my friends also is really excited about it. It's just sort of that and The Division. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, the Division. When I first saw that gameplay demo at E3, that engine is beautiful.
It looks incredible, and if Ubisoft can do just as good a job of the full game as they've done with what they've shown us so far, then it should be a really, really good game.
Yeah, so I feel like 2015 is also going to be a very interesting year.
Definitely, yeah.
And I am excited, or at least I'm interested to see what the next Call of Duty game is going to be like. Because I know it gets, Call of Duty, especially on YouTube, gets a lot of flack.
It does.
I have been as much of a, I've been very vocal about Ghosts and my feelings on that whole subject, as have a lot of other people.
Yeah. I've not really hidden my feelings, but yeah, I agree with you in the fact that I would say excited, but I do feel and I'm anticipating I'm in anticipation of what the next Call of Duty will bring and if it'll be any good or not, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
I'm a huge COD fan at heart, really. I said, Modern Warfare 2 is the first. Same. Because I got my Xbox a bit later, I wasn't in that initial original COD 4, COD 5 crew. Like a lot of people, have these epic memories of COD 4 revolutionising everything. And although I have gone back and played a lot of those two games, and I can definitely say COD 4 is an amazing game, Modern Warfare 2 is the one that really got me into the franchise. And I was probably just as obsessed with Black Ops 1. I put a lot of many days into the multiplayer of both of those games, and I'm much though Ghosts was a disappointment, and I wasn't a fan of Modern Warfare 3 either. I'm still a huge fan of the franchise, and I hope that the next one
will do it justice,
can sort of bring it back a little bit.
Yeah,
and I will cover it on my channel if it's good, and I won't if it isn't.
Yeah, same. I want them to sort of
we'll see.
Really put excitement back into the franchise and really do something that makes us want to, make content for it and get us all excited to, to cover it. And so, yeah, I think that would be great, because I think something that's really missing is that excitement. It's just getting sort of slightly tedious now. It's sort of like, oh, it's another Call of Duty. Oh my, there's more complaints about it. This, It
seems like a lot of there are whole YouTube channels that have essentially grown in subscriber base just off complaining about COD, rather than covering it in any kind of positive way, which is quite interesting, because people, the fans are very sort of disenfranchised with it all and very disappointed, and they relate to those videos. And it would be nice to see a channel grow off positive stuff about COD again.
Yes, it would.
But it's difficult to see whether that's going to come.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm convinced just yet. But we shall see.
We'll see what it is.
Yes, so I thought, as you are at the moment primarily Titanfall channel, I thought I'd ask you some stuff about Titanfall.
Go for it.
I've been looking at Twitter a fair bit recently since the game launched, and sort of especially for PC, and you play PC, so it'd be good to get your opinion on this. A few people I've been seeing have said that they actually preferred the way the beta played on PC to the actual release version. I don't know what you feel on this.
Well, the beta was ridiculously good for a beta. They brought it out pretty late for a beta as well. It was pretty much a finished game, and it ran so smoothly.
It did.
The full release has had some issues. I don't have an NVIDIA graphics card, so I think I've avoided a lot of them through that, because those users of NVIDIA cards seem to have had more problems.
Yeah, which is a large portion of gamers have NVIDIA cards.
Well, indeed, yeah. So it's not great. There have been a few issues. They've started ironing a few of them out now. There are sort of little tweaks that you can make to improve the performance. In general, though, I think it's alright. I think a lot of games these days, unfortunately, are coming out in quite unpolished form.
Yeah.
Battlefield 4.
EA in general. I think EA are starting to put a mark on things that don't come out finished.
I feel like EA, really, Titanfall was supposed to be EA's saving grace.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people going, please EA, please do not screw up Titanfall.
Yeah.
It's too good for you to screw it up. And I've heard that they took a very hands-off approach and let Respawn do their thing, and make sure that it really was a finished product. And it is a very good game. I think the balance is pretty good in the multiplayer. Well, it is a completely multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But There are a few issues, but in general, I think it runs alright on PC. I haven't had the chance to try it on console. It certainly seems as if people on console can get some ridiculously high-scoring gameplays. I feel like there may be more newbie players on console.
There might be, but
or maybe that's just my excuse.
It sort of balances it out for me at the moment because I'm playing over 3G, so I get like 2 bars. So it sort of levels it out for me. If people are bad, then I have a chance. It's more of an equal playing field.
But have there been any problems on Xbox One as well?
I've not. Well, the only major problem is obviously when the Microsoft servers were down, you can play online, and that's sort of affected everyone, really.
Yeah.
So, but apart from that, no, I've not really bumped into anything. But going to be honest with you, I have not played a mass amount of hours on it. I've not got around to playing that much. So, at the moment, no. But yeah, I don't think I haven't been as sort of addicted to it as I maybe thought I might be. I haven't been playing anywhere near as much as I thought I might have, which I'm surprised.
Well, that's an interesting thing about Titanfall is a lot of people are sort of questioning how long this game is gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Or sort of what legs this game has. How long can it really hold the attention of the community before people start drifting back to Battlefield and COD and other games? And as someone who's quite readily sort of sucked into the unlocking things and leveling up and that kind of thing, like I spoke with the older Call of Duties, I have to say it doesn't have that quite the same addictive nature to it. It's hasn't got as many sort of customization options. It hasn't really got any customization options, which was a really great shame, I think. I was really looking forward to making a pink Titan or something, just to be a bit crazy with it. But so I think they missed a trick there. And that could definitely sort of grinding for cool unlocks in that setting would have been quite a good way of keeping people playing the game, I think.
Yeah.
And there aren't as many weapons as in your sort of standard FPS these days either.
No.
So hopefully, sort of for the sake of my channel and because I think it's a good game, I hope that it does have good legs, both on YouTube and just in general. But I guess that just remains to be seen, really. Yeah,
and the interesting point really was Titanfall sort of largely became this hyped game and became, sort of in inverted commas successful, mainly because it was sort of a fresh outlook on something that hadn't been sort of changed in quite a while. So it sort of brought new things to the table that hadn't been done, and it brought excitement back into that sort of genre. But once this freshness wears off, what are we going to be left with? Does it really have anything that's going to keep us going for the long haul, or are we going to get bored of the same thing? Is it just going to turn into a Call of Duty style thing where in a couple of years we're going to be going, it's the same sort of thing again? I don't know.
Well, I honestly, it's kind of it's premature to talk about it.
Exactly,
but
yeah.
Titanfall 2, which there will definitely be a Titanfall 2. I don't think anyone...
No,
EA are looking for a new franchise. They've got Battlefront as well coming.
Yeah.
But really, I think I heard, and I don't know, might be a completely unsubstantiated rumour, but I've heard that EA's new cycle for shooters is going to be Battlefield 1 year, Battlefront another year, and Titanfall another year. Have this sort of 3-year cycle. I don't know if that's going to be a thing.
I don't know.
No. It certainly sounds plausible.
It does.
Sounds
definitely
like a good business model, in my opinion. But I think there will definitely be a Titanfall 2, and I'm really excited to see what they do with that, because this was kind of the concept. They did it with a very small dev team.
True.
And now that they've sort of proved themselves, I would be pretty excited to see what they do down the line. And I would also really like to see it come to all the platforms. I think that one of the biggest tricks that they missed was bringing it to PlayStation as well. I think it's a huge success for Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think it's going to sell Xbox Ones. I think the Xbox One has obviously been kind of playing catch up with the PS4 ever since it came out.
Definitely.
And I think Titanfall is a good weapon in its arsenal, but in terms of Titanfall and the success of the game and the franchise, it would have been nice to see it come to everyone. Yeah,
and I think until it's available to everyone, they won't be able to take on something like Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of the other larger franchises that are out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The simple fact of the matter is there isn't the install base there currently. And there isn't also the same hype even on the 360 version, because it's been made by a separate company. Technically, it's been ported. That I think there's not even the same hype for the 360. So technically, you're only on 2 platforms that you've really got a good chance of selling it on.
Yeah, it's almost like they tried to cover up the fact that the 360 version was coming out.
Yeah,
I've seen a fair few people on Twitter going, "Wait, what? Titanfall's on 360? Nobody
exactly.
told me this. I can actually get this game."
Yeah,
And they haven't released any gameplay of it at all.
no.
I'll be pretty interested in, what is it now, 9 days when it comes out. I'll be quite interested just to see how different it is, how many features it's missing and that kind of thing, because I would like for it to be as close to the full game
Exactly,
on PC and Xbox One
because
as
you want
possible,
people who have seen all the other gameplay and have maybe even played it on the beta or whatever, or gaming events, to actually pick up that game and get that same sort of experience. It'd be really kind of sad if they then pick up the game and it's very, very different.
Yeah, it's kind of weird coming at it from a YouTube perspective. I obviously want as many people playing the game that I'm covering as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
And when you've got something like Call of Duty, that's, it's pretty simple. It's just the biggest game out there, really. But when you've got something like Titanfall, something new, I really wish that they'd sort of pumped up the 360 version a little bit more. And unfortunately, they haven't. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
No, yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see. Right, so final little thing to end this all off. I think this has been the longest interview I've done on Let's Talk Gaming, so there we are. We've had a lot to discuss, though. So, where do you see gaming going in the next few years? What's the future of gaming for you? Where would you like to see it go?
Well, this is a pretty difficult one, really.
It is. It is tricky.
When I think of the future of gaming, the first things that pop into my head are the Oculus Rift and sort of, I guess, 4K and the increases in resolutions and graphic. Obviously, computers are getting more powerful all the time. And as a PC gamer, I get to reap the benefits of that possibly more quickly than console players.
Yeah, true.
But I don't. It's difficult to say. I mean, is the Oculus Rift? I haven't had the chance to try one out yet, unfortunately, and I'm going to a few gaming events this year, and hopefully we'll get a chance to try one.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool concept.
It's a cool concept. It's in a bit of a problem at the moment where the materials they're using to make it are extremely limited, so they'd never, with the current materials they're using for it, be able to actually ship them because there isn't enough. There was one about a month or so ago. There was only one extra one left for someone to buy a dev kit. That was all they had left. So they're looking to what materials they can use instead, but if they can't use materials that are good enough to make it, then they're going to be in a bit of trouble. So yeah, it's sort of a waiting game on that to see if they can find any other materials to make it with. That's the last I heard anyway. But yeah, is there any particular is there any particular genre you'd like to see take off more? Is there any sort of part of gaming that you'd like to get more involved with? Would you like to see maybe the portable gaming market, make some advancements and something? I don't know. Where do you see? Do you see things like the Steam services that they're trying to bring through, where you can sort of have your game on your PC at home, maybe go out in the future and be able to play your games maybe with an Oculus Rift type thing on the train, like you're sitting at home? I don't know. What people get excited about different things. What do you really? What's going to excite you?
Well, in terms of genres of games, I'm a huge fan of open world type games, which have been doing increasingly well recently.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of the sort of GTA, Watch Dogs, The Division, all that kind of game. I'd like to see more of those and introducing sort of more. I think what we're increasingly seeing is games that combine lots of genres together.
Yeah.
Titanfall is actually quite a good example of that in a way.
True.
But I think having a sort of FPS, MMO, open world type, if Destiny is trying to achieve that, which is why I'm quite interested in it. But if a developer could make that kind of perfect hybrid, I think that would be sort of my favourite game ever.
Okay.
In terms of the technology, virtual reality ultimately I think is where we've got to be headed.
Yeah.
Just because it's really the next logical step, and feels like we've been waiting years and years for it. It's one of those sort of futuristic things like flying cars and hoverboards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we'll ever get those two, but virtual reality looks like it could actually be a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty weird if 20 years from now you've got sort of a train full of people all wrapped in their own little virtual reality worlds. Although to a certain extent, you've got that already with people. They've got their headphones in, got retina display iPads or whatever. You're pretty isolated from from the world. So I don't know. I think it would be Steam sort of in-home streaming and that kind of thing, and the Nvidia Shields. That's all pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, because a YouTuber I watched a little while back was sort of exploring the point as if you could, like, because some countries like Japan and things like that are really sort of putting a lot of money into their mobile infrastructures so that you literally have fiber optic speed broadband on your phone and things like that. So we're saying, what if you had a phone which in the future could run Steam home sharing, so you could stream your games to your phone, but then you could plug your Oculus Rift into your phone, so that would be on the screen on your Oculus Rift, and you could plug in a little game controller and you could actually play on the train or something like that over this broadband fiber optic speed internet. Would that make you move to that country? Things like that. So I think
Well, I'm not sure I would go as far as moving country for something like that, but I don't know, as a PC gamer, I'm quite a fan of the idea of just having my sort of gaming set up at home and doing my gaming there. But then I know that, mobile gaming is a big thing for a lot of people. Console, sort of more casual console players might prefer sort of lounging on a couch whilst playing their games. You've got people using the Kinect and that kind of thing as well. I think a lot of it comes down to personal preference, really.
True.
And I think it would take some pretty awesome technology to get me to move away from that sort of sitting at my desk playing.
Okay.
Because that's just what I like to do. But yeah, it's exciting times. We'll have to see where technology takes us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there we are. I'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully you've enjoyed being on the show, and hopefully I can do some more stuff with you in the future, but we'll discuss that another time. Right, thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smack that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to TheRoflRaptor. His link will be in the description, so go check his videos out, especially if you enjoy Titanfall. There's plenty of content on there for you to check out. Leave any feedback in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, drink tea and game on.